Okay, so this is my first video on YouTube, and the reason I'm recording it is because I've had a pretty miraculous change in my life over the last 3 months. And this is after 24 years of experiencing chronic migraine headaches. They were disabling, debilitating, and I had them from ages like 38 or so until age 64. They kind of did rob me of a good part of my life. I I saw doctors all over the country. I was diagnosed with chronic Lyme disease. I got diagnoses of fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, classic migraine, cluster headaches, all sorts of weird stuff going on. And what I discovered actually in August of 2018, just by mistake or fluke, maybe it was just divine providence or whatever, but somebody sent me a link to a Facebook page, and the name of the page was Fighting the Migraine Epidemic. And it was a woman whose name was Angela Stanton, Stanton, PhD from California. She wrote a book, I think about 4 years ago, called Fighting the Migraine Epidemic, and the subtitle has something to do with cure. When I saw that, I was like, wow, I'm going to give it a try, because prior to that time, I've tried everything. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars. I've lost years of my life lying in bed in excruciating pain with migraines. I've been to emergency rooms in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and down here in Florida with a migraine that lasted for 2 or 3 days, creating nausea, vomiting, and unrelenting pain. And then I followed this link, and I read her book, which I purchased on Kindle for $9.99. And then I started to follow and believe in what she was saying. And over the last 3 months, I've had some blips here and there, but I would say that my migraine headaches have been reduced by 85 to 90%. In the last 3 months, I've maybe had four or five where there were some weeks in my life that I would have at least 4 or 5 migraines. So the truth of the matter is that her protocol works, and her explanation of why some of us get migraine headaches is right on target. The other thing that's amazing to me, through the years, I have kept adding weight on my body. My normal weight should be under 200 pounds. I'm like 5'10 and a half, 5'11 feet in height. My body mass index is in excess of 30%. And all the doctors tell me I have hypertension, borderline diabetes 2, all this other bad stuff that comes with aging. And the reality is, after reading Angela's book and following her Facebook page, I've come to realize that the real culprit has been, for quite some time, what's going in my body. I've had people along the way suggest that maybe different nutrition would help. I've been a vegan for a while, did that for a while, lost like 10 pounds, whatever, that was cool. But I'll tell you, in the last 3 months, I started the ketogenic diet. I started testing my blood and ketones, and I found that I guess I had something called insulin resistance, which a lot of us have. I've come to the realization that probably from when I was a child up until now, I'm a sugar junkie. I loved penny candy when I was 5 years old, and I love M&Ms and desserts and tiramisu and anything that converts rapidly to sugar blast in my system. I love that till now. Over the last 10 years when I was married, my ex-wife and I, we would go on runs to Cumberland Farms or grocery stores and get a half-gallon of ice cream with Reese's Pieces in it and have Good Humor strawberry shortcake ice cream on the way home to eat our stash. And we jokingly refer to it as heroin, crack. But the non-funny thing about it is that, guess what? It is crack. It's a drug, and it has no nutritional value at all. And it makes I think a lot of us feel instantly wonderful. And then there's a huge crash, and it adds thousands of useless calories that convert to fat, body fat. And it creates depression, fluctuations in glucose levels in our blood, and it's a setup to becoming diabetic later in life. So I've gotten off that merry-go-round as suggested by Angela, and after doing the ketogenic diet for, I guess, like a couple months and having my blood tested, she suggested that I switch over to the carnivore diet. And I've been 95% faithful to that diet. It's primarily meat, fish, dairy, no vegetables, no fruit, no carbs, no bread, no pasta, none of that stuff, but plenty of meat, ribeye steaks, salmon, shrimp, cheese, things that a lot of us were told are going to like blow our heart out because they'll fill us up with this cholesterol that's going to clog our arteries. And the other amazing thing is that I went to my primary care physician after 2.5 months, 3 months on this keto diet. My cholesterol is down, my HDL, my LDL. They're on the brink, but they're all dropping. So what she has told me has been the God's honest truth. And I have renewed energy. I have a little dog, a little Labrador that's 7 years old, and I have the energy now to walk with her 2 or 3 times a day. I'm walking probably 4 to 5 miles on the average. I've doubled my step count. I have one of these Garmin, step counting watches and stuff, and yeah, we're averaging closer to like 5 miles a day, whereas when I was on the heavy carb, heavy sugar diet, which was a disaster back in June and July, it was rough sometimes for me to get out of bed because, I was suffering from a migraine or whatever. So this book and this woman, they provided me with unbelievable hope and a positive outlook on life. My life has been renewed. I owe so much to her. It's really unbelievable. And, I don't think I've taken many videos, if any, of myself before, but now, about 3 months after starting the Stanton migraine protocol, I've lost pretty much close to 20 pounds, which is almost 10% of my body weight. And I wasn't looking necessarily to lose weight. I was just looking to stop the migraine insanity. So Angela Stanton is my guru. And I'm posting this because there's a lot of garbage on the internet, on Facebook, probably more garbage than there is reality. There's fake news, there's crap about all these supplements that are going to help you and renew your life and do all this stuff. But the truth for me, and probably for all of us, is that if you put garbage in your body, you're going to get garbage out. And Angela's explanation about nutrition and about the migraine brain and about the primitive nature of the migraine brain is right on target for a person like me. And I actually look forward to 2019 now because I know in my heart that if the path I'm on now continues, there's going to be no stopping me with better health and a loss of weight and just a better attitude. So I want to thank Angela. I recommend everybody who's struggling with diet or struggling with migraines, and actually she talks about neurological issues in general, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, anything that affects your brain, central nervous system. I believe it's a scientific fact that she talks about is that our brains are comprised of 80% fat, yet doctors and so-called nutritionists have told us to have no fat in our diet. So when you do something like the ketogenic diet, which is about 80% fat, it seems like it matches up with what the brain needs. And at least for today, I'm living proof of that. So that's it for now. Thank you for listening. And I hope all of you guys and girls have a good day. And especially thanks to you, Angela.